So today we are going to discuss about autoimmune diseases. Okay. What is autoimmunity? Yes, what is autoimmunity?
Antibody act against normal body cells.
Antibodies act against normal
Normal body
body cells.
Body
Or
cells.
what are the other ways in which this autoimmunity acts? What is the other way? They could not differentiate between body proteins,
Between the self body
self and
protein
non-self protein, and the other way.
non-self.
Other way. What is the other way of this autoimmunity? Other way of destruction? Yes. The body cells, they behaves as an antigen.
Antigen. Yes, yes.
They behaves as
Body
a
cells.
antigen. So there is destruction of the self proteins. So there will be, whenever this happens, what will going to be the next? When body cells, they behave as an antigen, there will be autoantibodies get formed against this, and there will be ultimately destruction. Okay. Either they could not differentiate in between self and non-self protein, or other ways there is our body cells, they behaves as a antigen. Okay. So here we are going to discuss two autoimmune diseases. In that there are many autoimmune diseases. We discussed the other autoimmune diseases like hemolytic anemia, then that glomerulonephritis. It is again autoimmune disease that we discussed in that particular systemic study. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about systemic lupus erythematosus, this systemic lupus erythematosus, and scleroderma. There are two autoimmune diseases about that we are going to discuss today. Okay. So here you are looking on your screen autoimmune diseases. Various autoimmune diseases are there. So yes, could you read it? Yes. Yes, could you able to read it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So read it. Multiple sclerosis, then asthma, celiac disease, eczema and psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis, systemic lupus erythematosus, and Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So these are some autoimmune diseases. In that today we are going to discuss only about two diseases, that is systemic lupus erythematosus and scleroderma. Okay. Both are projecting on the skin. Okay. Yes. Could you add some diseases in this particular list of autoimmune disease?
Yes, ma'am. Cushing syndrome.
Thyrotoxosis.
Thyrotoxicosis. Then
Cushing syndrome.
Okay. Then
Addison's disease.
this is autoimmune disease. We are discussing autoimmune diseases. We are discussing about.
No, ma'am. It is.
See, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, it is autoimmune. Okay. Any other than this, that is also endocrinal disease. Remembering any name of that endocrinal disease?
Exophthalmic goiter.
Yes. Correct, right?
Type 1 diabetes.
Yes, right, Pranjali, right. Type 1 diabetes mellitus. Okay. So it is not given in this list, but it is autoimmune disease. So it is based on two theories, no? Autoimmune diseases, they are based on two theories. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
So selective and inductive theory, no?
Theory.
Yes, ma'am.
What is inductive theory?
Ma'am, there is.
Yes, what was that inductive theory?
There is no difference between the self and non-self.
What is selective theory? What is inductive theory? What is selective theory?
Int.
Vallabh?
Selective theory मध्ये forbidden clones.
Yes. There
Clones.
are
Yes. Cells
there
of
are
forbidden.
forbidden clones, but they get
In
destroyed.
embryo.
This ability it is
embryo
not
मध्ये
get
form.
developed in when the baby is in womb. It get destroyed. This ability to form forbidden clones and get the antibodies against that particular antigen. It get destructed. This ability is there is some defects in this ability, and there is the autoantibodies they get formed against that particular antigen. Okay, so today we will go towards the next disease, our next disease, that is systemic lupus erythematosus. Okay, what is the meaning of lupus in Latin? It is the meaning is like wolf. So get away the thing or eat away the thing like a wolf. So as this wolf it eats that particular skin, in that way this particular disease look like. Okay, or presentation, external presentation of this disease is like wolf eaten away the skin. Okay, now there are two forms of this particular disease, systemic lupus erythematosus. We use the short form like SLE for this disease. It is such a big name, no? So we can say that disease as SLE, that is systemic lupus erythematosus. Now, this disease it get presented with two forms, systemic and localized. Systemic or disseminated form. Systemic or disseminated form. It is characterized by acute and chronic inflammatory lesions widely scattered in the body. So acute or chronic, it may get presented as an acute and or it may be of chronic. Okay, so systemic, disseminated or in disseminated form, it is characterized by acute and chronic inflammatory lesions widely scattered in the body. There is presence of various nuclear and cytoplasmic autoantibodies in the plasma. See here, there is presence of various nuclear and cytoplasmic autoantibodies. So nuclear in the form of nucleus or in the form of cytoplasm. Okay, various nuclear and cytoplasmic autoantibodies in the plasma. Now, where it gets spread, the organ involved are kidney, then joints, skin, serosal surfaces, blood vessels, and central nervous system. So these are the organ involved in this particular systemic lupus erythematosus. So it is not a localized disease, it is disseminated form, it is fulminating form, disseminated form. So it appears in various lesions, external, internal lesions. Externally on the skin and internally kidney, may affect kidney, it may affect joints, skin, serological surfaces, then serosal surfaces, blood vessels, and central nervous system. Now, the second form of this particular disease is discoid form. Second form is discoid form, and it is characterized by chronic and localized skin lesions. Okay, it is presented as a chronic and localized skin lesion. So there are two type of lesions of systemic lupus erythematosus, that is SLE. The one is systemic lesion, other is discoid lesions, discoid form. So it appears in systemic or disseminated form and discoid form. These are the two forms of this SLE. The disease is autoimmune disease. The name is SLE. So it may be acute presentation or it may be chronic inflammatory lesions which appears on the body or scattered in the body in the form of this particular autoantibodies is nuclear form or cytoplasmic form. Now this discoid form, involving the bridge of nodes and adjacent cheek without any Okay, still students are coming. Let them come for the lecture. Okay. So there is a breach of the nose and adjacent cheek without any involvement, any manifestations, that is internal manifestations. Okay. So this nose and cheeks get involved in this discoid form of lesions. So butterfly-like appearance. It will shows the butterfly-like appearance. Now etiology and pathogenesis of this particular disease. Now it is a genetic, there is genetic role, genetic factor is very important. Genetic predisposition is very important, and this predisposition is to develop the autoantibodies to nuclear and cytoplasmic antigens. So these autoantibodies, they get developed against the nuclear and cytoplasmic antigens in SLE, and it is due to immunoregulatory function of class 2 HLA genes and early complement factors. So this evolution of this particular autoantibodies or formation of autoantibodies, it is mainly due to immunoregulatory functions, that is human leukocyte antigen, that is class 2 human leukocyte antigen HLA genes and early complement factors. So this immunoregulatory function or mechanism is very important behind the formation of autoantibodies. So these autoantibodies, what is the characteristic of autoantibodies in the SLE? They are against the nuclear and cytoplasmic antigens. So this is the one factor, etiological factor, that is there must be some genetic factor or genetic predisposition behind this particular evolution of disease. Now second important etiological factor is environmental factor. So environmental factor, it may be expressing the genetic susceptibility with certain drugs, that is penicillamine, then penicillamine derivatives, then certain viral infection, the like EBV virus. What is EBV virus? Yes, what is a long form of EBV virus? Anyone? Yes. What is EBV virus? Yes. Yes, Prasad. Yes,
Epstein-Barr virus.
Epstein-Barr virus.
Epstein-Barr.
Epstein-Barr.
Yes. It is a
Epstein-Barr
carcinogenic.
virus.
Yes, right. So certain viral infection, example Epstein-Barr virus. So this is the environmental factor. After some introduction of this particular penicillamine derivatives in the body, and it has genetic susceptibility. If the mother and father of that particular person or baby, they are sensitive against that particular drug that comes in the baby. So certain drugs which is having some genetic susceptibility, penicillin like penicillamine derivative, there may be other drugs also which gives this particular susceptibility. And second factor is after viral infection. It is very known that after any viral infection, this autoimmunity arises. Okay. Yes, Jeevan, you want to ask any question? So what is the etiology of this particular SLE? It is genetic factor or genetic susceptibility, and the second one is environmental factors, that is which expresses the genetic susceptibility, that is after introduction of some drugs or after introduction of some viruses, after viral infections. Then certain hormones may also interfere this particular normal manifestation. It also get because of these hormones, there is disturbance occurs, and there will be this antibodies get formed against that particular anti-chains, that is nuclear and cytoplasmic anti-chains. Then after exposure of UV light, ultraviolet light, this autoimmunity, that is SLE, may get arises. Now there is activation of how this occurs, how this process occurs. There is activation of B cells. There is activation of B cells and associated hypergammaglobulinemia. So this starts with activation of B cells and associated with hypergammaglobulinemia. These autoantibodies against nuclear or its components are demonstrable in the plasma after the testing. These autoantibodies against nuclear or its component, that is against the cytoplasm, these compounds can be demonstrable in the plasma. Now examples of this is, the first is anti-nuclear antibodies. Now, what are the types of antibodies, autoantibodies get formed in the plasma, in the circulation against nucleus or against cytoplasmic antigens? So, these are the names of autoantibodies, anti-nuclear antibodies. These antibodies against common nuclear antigens that includes DNA as well as RNA. So they can work, they can act against that particular DNAs or RNAs, that is any viruses or any bacterial infections. So this particular anti-nuclear antibodies, they start coming in the plasma. Second type is antibodies to double standard DNA. Now these are the specific antibodies which act against the double standard DNA. This is the most specific for SLE. So these antibodies to double standard DNA, it is more characteristic or specific for systemic lupus erythematosus. Especially it comes in the high titers. So there are high titers we can see of this particular antibodies. So anti-nuclear antibodies and antibodies to double standard DNA. Please remember this type of these names of antibodies, autoantibodies, which forms in the plasma or which are become demonstrable in the plasma. Now the characteristic one in between these two are this double standard DNA, against double standard DNA, antibodies to double standard DNA. It is a very, very specific form of antibody in the systemic lupus erythematosus, and always it is present in high titer. Okay. So what are the factors which are, what are the etiological factors for this particular infections? Yes. What are the etiological factors?
certain drug derivatives, penicillin
Yes,
derivatives.
certain drugs, derivatives.
Genetic
viral-
factors.
Yes, yes.
EPI infection,
Yes, viral
UV light,
Yes, viral infection.
Viral
then-
infection.
Due to certain hormones.
Certain
Yes.
hormones.
And UV light
UV light.
exposure. Okay.
UV light.
Which this
UV
all
light.
activates the beta B cells. Like T lymphocytes, there are B lymphocytes. They activates the B lymphocyte associated with hypergammaglobulinemia. Now, are you remembering this hypergammaglobulinemia? In which type of this degenerative disease we discussed about hypergammaglobulinemia? Are you remembering this degenerative disease?
protein degeneration.
No. Type of degeneration. We discussed about the types of degeneration. No? Where there are various types of degeneration we discussed, that like
Amyloid
yes,
degeneration.
right. Very good, Vallabh. So hypergammaglobulinemia, it is very, very important in formation of this amyloid. Okay. How it? Could you tell me how this? What is the role of hypergammaglobulinemia? Yes.
Not remembering, ma'am.
Not remembering. So please read today about the role of hypergammaglobulinemia in
Okay.
degeneration.
Yes,
amyloid
ma'am.
Degeneration. How this amyloid get formed. Okay. So read that particular thing, correlation. Okay. Now, we discussed that is there are two types of autoantibodies: anti-nuclear antibodies and antibodies to double standard DNA. In between these two, this double standard antibodies against double standard DNA is very specific. Okay, and it is always present in high titers. Okay. Now third type, anti-Smith antibody. third type is anti-Smith antibodies. These antibodies appear against that particular antigen, which is a part of ribonucleoprotein. These antibodies appear against that particular part of antigen, which is the part of ribonucleoprotein, anti-Smith antibodies. And there are other forms of other names of other antibodies, like anti-ribonucleoprotein seen in 40% of cases in SLE, then anti-ARO antibodies, anti-histone antibodies. Okay, so these are the types of other antibodies which take part specifically in this immunological reactions of this, or autoimmune reactions of this particular disease. Okay, so the first is anti-nuclear antibodies against double stranded DNA, then anti-Smith antibody and other antibodies like ARO, histone antibodies, or anti-ribonucleoproteins. They are also the antibodies seen in 40% of cases of SLE. Now, what is the mechanism of antibody formation? That we are going to discuss, how this autoantibodies get formed. So first, there is activation of innate immunity. Now, please tell me, what is innate immunity? We discussed about the classification, no? So what is the innate immunity? Yes?
It is a by birth.
Which is there from the birth.
Yes. We get this from birth.
By birth.
So here, no
Birth.
recognition of organism is needed for innate immunity, which we get from the birth. So recognition of organism is not needed for innate immunity. That all of you know. For acquired immunity, the recognition of organism is necessary.
Organism.
Okay, what is
Yes.
recognition of
Required.
organism? What is meaning of that? What is meaning of recognition of organism?
Self and non-self antibodies.
No.
No.
What is meaning of recognition of this pathogen or organism? For innate immunity, no recognition is needed. What is meaning of this? While discussing classification, we discuss these things, like in innate immunity, no recognition of organism is not needed. Okay, what is meaning of this recognition?
Ma'am, means that organism is previously comes into the body and
Yes.
म्हणजे तो organism आत येऊन गेलाय की नाही आपल्या बॉडी
Like,
Yes, right.
like chickenpox and measles.
Yes, right. To
Chickenpox and measles, ma'am, we
Yes.
have already introduction to that
Yes,
antigen,
yes.
so that our body remembers and
Yes. Good. So this introduction for innate immunity, it is not needed, but here for autoantibody formation, activation of innate immunity, that is the role of dendritic cells and monocytes, that is macrophages. The role of monocyte macrophages is very important here for activation of innate immunity. Okay, it is a natural defense mechanism. Remembering now, what is natural defense mechanism? So that is the part of this monocytes and macrophages. Okay. The second thing important is lowered and abnormal activation. Lowered, that is decreases, and abnormal activation of pathways of adaptive immunity. So this adaptive immunity, that is acquired immunity, it is the levels of this adaptive immunity, it is very low, or either it is defective. Okay, so this is the mechanism of production of autoantibodies. Then ineffective against that particular immune cells. Whenever our defense mechanism becomes ineffective, there is no effects against that particular pathogen, then there is formation of antibodies. Next is impaired clearance of apoptotic cells and immune complexes. So whenever this clearance of apoptotic cells and the immune complexes become defective, so there will be formation of autoantibodies. Impaired clearance. What is impaired clearance? Defective clearance. Okay. This should get clear. This apoptotic cells and immune complexes, they should get clear from the body time to time. But whenever this clearance get defective, we have this autoantibodies. And lastly, the immunologic injury in SLE may be of the type 2 or type 3 hypersensitivity. So this SLE, the immunological injury which happens in SLE, it may be of type 2 or type 3 hypersensitivity. What is type 2 and type 3 hypersensitivity? Yes?
In type 2, there is the lysis of the targeted organ.
Yes,
And in type
yes.
3, there is the accumulation of antibody and antigen complexes
Antibody
in the
complexes and
tissues
the-
and the
Yes,
cells.
right. That
Yes.
means you are studying. Good. So type 2 and type 3 hypersensitivity. Okay. So it is seen in this, whether it is delayed or whether it is
No, immediate
immediate. Yes,
hypersensitivity.
type 2 and type 3, it is
And-
immediate hypersensitivity.
Immediate.
Hypersensitivity.
Yes. So these two reactions, hypersensitivity reaction, we can see in the SLE. Okay. Now see, in this picture, it is given which parts of the body get affected. So there is in the form of pleural effusion, there may be heart problems, there may be lupus nephritis, there may be arthritis, there may be Raynaud's phenomena. Okay, so these are the organs and these are the affections of this particular SLE. What is Raynaud's phenomena, my dear students? I think we discussed about this phenomena while discussing the hemolytic anemia, cold antibodies and warm antibodies anemia. In cold
Yes,
antibodies anemia, we discussed about this Raynaud's phenomena also. So please check out this Raynaud's phenomena. Next time, I want this particular thing from you. What is Raynaud's phenomena? Okay. So,
Okay, ma'am.
so
Yes,
please,
ma'am.
take note down this particular thing. Okay, I want this from you. What is Raynaud's phenomena? Okay, and see, a typical butterfly-like rashes get developed on the skin in the systemic lupus erythematosus. Symptoms of systemic lupus erythematosus may be widely with the individual. Okay. So again, there is time become very less for this particular meeting. I will call the next meeting in few minutes. Okay. So
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
so today we discussed about this systemic lupus erythematosus, about the etiopathogenesis and what is systemic lupus erythematosus. What are the forms of systemic lupus erythematosus? Okay. So there are two
Yes, ma'am.
forms, systemic and discoid form. Systemic, it may get involved the other organs also, kidney, skin, joints, serosal surfaces, that is the pleural membranes of heart and the lungs, the membranes of heart and lung, blood vessels and central nervous system. These are the involved organs systemically in this particular first form. Disseminated from discoid form, the lesions, they get visualized on the skin, mainly on the skin, that is nose and adjacent cheek without any systemic manifestation. Okay. Then etiology. In etiology, we discussed about what is the role of genetic factor in this manifestation of this particular disease. There is definitely genetic role and genetic predisposition is there in case of this autoimmune diseases. Like in asthma also, there is the genetic predisposition. In various diseases, there is genetic predisposition is very, very important to form autoantibodies. Okay. So whenever any autoimmune diseases, if you ask the etiology, the first and the most important thing is genetic factor or genetic predisposition is the first etiological factor for this particular autoimmune diseases. Then next is the environmental factor. It is again the same with various autoimmune diseases like some infestation or ingestion of some drugs, drug induced, or it may be due to some viruses or bacteria, that is pathogens. Whenever enters in your system, they stimulates the autoimmunity. Then certain hormones may take part in this particular formation of autoimmune diseases or exposure to ultraviolet light. Now, how this forms? There is activation of beta cells in case of hypergammaglobulinemia. So that thing you are going to tell me next lecture, okay? About what is the role of hypergammaglobulinemia. Now the types of antibodies, autoantibodies we discussed. 4 types of autoantibodies, and what is the manifestations of this particular disease. Next lecture we are going to discuss about the scleroderma. The next disease is the scleroderma. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm ending this meeting. I will call in few minutes the second meeting. Okay.
Okay.